We are back one more day. We are back for one more try. We are back to learn the Lord, to get closer with God, to learn about the clean and unclean food, to set apart the tithes the way the Lord tell us to do. We learn about clean and unclean food on Leviticus 11. So we're gonna do it again on Deuteronomy 14. So get ready for this video. Yes, it will be very good to refresh your mind. It's obviously important to the Lord. Yes, he talked about it in Leviticus 11 about ritual of purity. And now he's taken up again on Deuteronomy 14. So we gotta think about it again. So it's obviously very important to the Lord. Okay, we gonna talk about clean and unclean food, or tithes. Okay, clean and unclean food. So let's get ready. It's only very short, 29 verse. 29 verse. The explanation is always longer than the actual verse, actual chapter. So let's try to handle this, okay? Clean and unclean food. Now, you are children of the Lord your God. You must not lacerate yourselves or shave your forehead for the dead. 2. For you are a people holy to the Lord your God. It is you the Lord has chosen out of all the people on earth to be his people, his treasured possession. 3. You shall not eat any abhorrent thing, for these are the animals you may eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the deer, the gazelle, the roebuck, the wild goats, the ibex, the antelope, and the mountain sheep. 6. Any animal that divide the hoof, and has the hoof cleft in two, and chew the cud among the animals you may eat. Yet of those that chew the cud and have the hoof cleft, you shall not eat these: the camel, the hare, the rock badger, because they chew the cud but do not divide the hoof. They are unclean for you. 8. And the pig, because it divides the hoof and does not chew the cud, is unclean for you. You shall not eat their meat, and you shall not touch their carcasses. 9. Of all that live in water, you may eat these. Whatever has fin and scale, you may scale. You Whatever has fin and scale, you may eat. Verse 10. And whatever does not have fin and scale, you shall not eat. It is unclean for you. 11. You may eat any clean bird, but those are the ones that you shall not eat: the eagle, the vulture, the osprey, the buzzard, the kite, of any kind. 14. Any raven of any kind. 15. The ostrich, the nighthawk, the seagull, the hawk of any kind. 16. The little owl and the great owl, the water hen and the desert owl, the carrion vulture and the cormorant. 18. The stork, the heron of any kind, the hoopoe and the bat. 19. And all those winged insects are unclean for you. They shall not be eaten. 20. You may eat any clean winged creature. 21. You shall not eat anything that dies of itself. You shall give it to alien residing in your town for them to eat, or you may sell it to a foreigner, for you are a people holy to the Lord your God. You shall not boil a kid in his mother's milk. 22. Set apart tithes of all the yield of your seed that is brought in yearly from the field. 23. In the presence of the Lord your God, in the place that he will choose as a dwelling for his name, you shall eat the tithes of your grain, your your vine, and your oil, as well as the firstling of your herd and flock, so that you may learn to fear the Lord your God always. 24. But if, when the Lord your God has blessed you, the distance is so great that you are unable to transport it, because the place where the Lord your God will choose to set his name is too far away from you. 25. Then you may turn it into money. With the money secure in hand, go to the place that the Lord your God will choose. 26. Spend the money for whatever you wish, oxen, sheep, wine, strong drink, or whatever you desire, and you shall eat there in the presence of the Lord your God, you and your household rejoicing together. 27. As for the Levites residing in your town, do not neglect them, because they have no allotment or inheritance with you. 28. Every third year you shall bring out the full tithe of your produce, so produce for that year, and store it within your town. 29. The Levites, because they have no allotment or inheritance with you, as well as the resident hellion, the orphans and the widows in your town may come in and eat their fields, so that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work that you undertake. Okay? Now, remember we read those verses before in other part of the Bible, right? In other chapters in the Bible. And obviously, when the Lord is giving to you again and again and again and again, the same kind of calling, the same kind of instruction, take heed to it because it's important. Okay? Verse 1 to 21 talk about clean and unclean food. Okay? Now, verse 1. In verse 1, these morning, morning, morning ritual may have been part of Canaanite worship. The morning ritual that was discussed in verse 1. Right? You are children of the Lord your God. You must not lacerate yourselves or shave your forelocks for the dead. You know, when people die, they often shave their head, shave part of their, head and stuff as a remembrance for the dead. But God is saying, no, don't do that. Don't shave nothing for the dead. That's a ritual. Don't do anything ritualistic for the dead. Once the dead is dead, the dead is dead. Bury the dead and keep on moving. Okay? So, and they usually in the uh, Egyptian culture, the Israelites, Egyptian culture back then, when somebody's dead, right? That's why Jesus once New Testament. Jesus once told this person, let the dead bury the dead. Okay, that is because once the person is dead, they spice him up, stuff like that. They clean him up and spice him up. They put him into the tomb. Okay, now within a year or so later, about a year or so, they go back into that tomb to unwrap it because the body has already been decomposed by that time. Usually just the skull remain. So they decompose it. They take the towel and everything, and then they scrape up the bones and they put the bones into a small little box. So they put the bones into a small little box back inside that cave. So that's so as a memorial and also as a way to make space for the next family member to be buried there at the same time, Um anyway, that's the way they used to do it back then. So when Jesus was saying to those people, let the dead bury the dead, um that's what he meant by that in the New Testament. Okay, so in other words, anything that's ritualistic to the dead person, don't shave your head. Right? Let the person then the person is dead, bury him, leave it alone. It's done. Okay, bury him and leave it completely alone. So the Canaanite did a lot of idol worship. So that was part of their idol worshiping ritual. Okay, it's like Halloween. I think people in Mexico, whatever. I think it is. They do the Halloween. They remember the Day of the Dead. What the person is dead. Move on. Let the dead live in peace. Don't need to have the Day of the Dead to remember the dead. Let the dead live. Move on with your life. It's not really important. At least I don't see it. I'm sure the Bible just give an example. People carving their dead family names on their body. They shave their. That's all rituals that is not godly. That's not godly. So if you was doing those rituals before the Day of the Dead, don't do it. It's a waste. Okay? That's from the Canaanites, and that's evil. That's evilness. Okay? Now, verse 3. Let's do verse 3. Verse 3. Any abhorrent thing would damage one relationship with God. Right? Anything, you shall not eat any abhorrent thing. Okay? Now let's go back to Deuteronomy 7, verse 26. Deuteronomy 7, verse 26. Do not bring an abhorrent thing into your house, or you will be set apart for destruction like it. You must utterly detest and abhor it, for it is set apart for destruction. Right? Anything that is not holy, throw it away, trash it. The total eradication called for by the holy war ban must be ritually, rigorously applied, lest Israel itself falls into the category of what is banned or set apart for destruction. Yes, you could, if you go turn your Bible to Joshua 6, verse 18, and also Joshua 7, verse 12, you will read more on the destruction. Okay? So the Lord is saying, If you don't want to die yourself, if you want to die, fine. Keep whatever is set apart for destruction. Whatever I told you, you go to the town, you see destroyed. But if you want to keep it, go ahead and keep it, but you're going to die. It's either you follow me or you follow them. You follow me that you know I don't play with my words, or you're going to follow them who are going to trick you to do what is ungodly at the side of God and be destroyed. Okay. Now, let's turn to chapter 12, verse 31. Chapter 12, verse 31. I need a magnifying glass. Don't laugh. I'm looking at it. And I have a big Bible where the words are really good, but I think I need a magnifying glass because it's like it's not working. 31. You must not do the same for the Lord your God, because every abhorrent thing that the Lord hates, they have done for their God. They would even burn their sons and daughters in the fire to their God. Right? So if they would come and kill off their kids that they had for cause of rituals, that's not right. God do not want the shedding of blood for anything. Okay? Now, if they're doing ungodly thing, God said anything everything that's evil in the sight of that He declared is evil, right? You should not have it among you. It is supposed to be set apart for destruction. Anything that they use to do spells and hex had to be set apart for destruction in that town. The whole town had to be destroyed. The people had to be destroyed. Everything that they have had to be destroyed. Don't keep it with you. Don't keep it with you. Don't keep it as a trinket, as a souvenir, because you yourself will be destroyed. Okay? I think God said that so many times from the beginning to now. It should start to kick in. It should stick in your head. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, because God do not like that. Okay? Now, let's do verse 6 to 7. Verse 6 to 7. 14, 6, and 7. Any animals that divides the hoof and has no hoof cliff into, it has the hoof cliff into, and choose the curve among the animals you may eat. Yet of these animals, yet of those that choose the curd or have the hoof cleft, you shall not eat these: the camels, the were, the hare, the rock badger, because they chew the curd but do not divide the hoof. They are unclean for you. Okay, they are unclean for you. Domestic animals provide the standard for what may be eaten. That's it. Domestic domestic animals provide the standard for what you may be eating. That's why deer season, have a field day. Kill as many as you want. It's holy. Go eat. You know? Ox, sheep, goat. Eat as many as you want. I used to have 13 goats in my backyard. Eat as many goats as you want. It's clean. Eat it. Spare the bacon. It's not clean. Okay? And my daughter's like, what? My daughter is, when I say spare the bacon, my daughter is like this. It is not clean. Don't eat the bacon. It may smell good, but don't eat it. It's not clean. I have to practice that. I try to practice not eating the bacon. I feel guilty. I do eat the bacon once in a while. You know, I still eat the bacon once in a while. I try not to. Because sometimes the smell of the bacon just entices. I nibble nibble at the piece once in a while. I don't eat the whole strip. I just nibble at a piece. But don't eat it. It's not clean. I think because back then in the Old Testament time, they had no way to preserve the food. I think that's why they had no way to preserve the food, no way to take care of the food after they kill it. So the food had to be cooked all the way right. Now there's ways to kill it, there's ways to preserve it, and you know you could, if you die now from eating a piece of bacon, a piece of pork, even though in the New Testament God said, right, He made everything holy, right? Everything is good to eat. Everything is holy in the New Testament. So in the New Testament, it is a matter of your faith. But we're not in the New Testament right now. We're in the Old Testament. So don't eat the bacon until we get to the New Testament and go over that verse. Okay? Stay away from the bacon. Stay away from the pig. Let the pig live to get fat until we get to the Old New Testament. If you want to kill it, you know. But I would not recommend it. Let it live. Okay? Let's continue on. That was just a moment of fun. Uh Now, okay? In verse 8, in verse 8, in verse 8, and the pig, because it divides the hoof and does not chew the cud, is unclean for you. You shall not eat their meat, and you shall not touch their carcasses. Not only don't eat the meat, but leave the dead pig right there. Let him die, and let whatever birds of the air, the unclean birds, come and eat the carcass away. Okay, because that's their job anyway. Um, so verse 8 was saying the pig may have been used in Canaanites rituals. Any animals that may have been used for rituals cannot be used. It's not clean. Okay, I think that's why it may have been used for rituals. Maybe that's why the Lord said it is unclean. It's one of the reasons. Now, verse 9 and 10. Okay, now 9 and 10 talk about ordinary fish are the standard for what is clean. The ordinary fish. Okay? Ordinary fish. For all that lives in water you may eat these. Whatever has fin and scale you may eat. Okay, the ordinary fish. Like tilapia have scales. Salmon have scales. What fish have scale? That's the only two fish I really eat at my house. What other fish that have scale? Any fish that have scale, either way. But if the fish do not have scale, don't eat it. Like whitings have scale? I don't think so. Whiting do not have no scale. Whitings don't have no scale. Even though it tastes good in sandwiches, it don't have no scale. So don't have that. And catfish, you know, that used to be one of my old time fish at the buffets. Don't eat that. It doesn't have scale. Stay away from it. Eels. Anything that's from the sea that don't have no scale in it. Stay away from it. Sharks. Anything. Get away from it. Dolphins. Whatever. Now 21. Let's do verse 21. Whatever dies a natural death would contain forbidden blood, right? These dietary rules do not apply to non-Israelites. Boiling a baby goat in its own mother's milk may have been a Canaanite ritual. Okay? Now, you should not eat anything that dies of itself. If you have a natural debt, don't eat it, right? You may give it to alien residing in your town for them to eat, or you may sell it to a foreigner for you as a people holy to the Lord your God, right? If you have a farm and then your animal die, you may not be able to eat it because it's forbidden from God, but you could sell it. God didn't say just throw all that good meat away. No, you raise that animal, it took time for it. Your pig died. Your pig died. That's the truth now. Your pig died. Your goat died. Your cow dies. Your sheep, you raising your animal, it dies. You're gonna kill that. You're gonna slaughter it and sell it off real quick and make your money back. Okay? So that's what the Lord said. Sell it, clean it, sell it, and make your money. But you yourself have no reason to eat it. Okay? Don't eat it. And also, a kid, a baby goat. Okay? Don't take the milk and then you put it into the goat. And you making a stew, you boiling, and no, that's nasty. Come on now, that's nasty. And that's nasty. One, it's not good twice. But it may have been because the Canaanites used to use it for a ritual too. Ritual purposes. Okay? You see, like everything that is ungodly in the presence of God is wanting the Israelites not to do, is what they used to do. And that's why they are possessing their land, the Canaanites' land. Okay, the Bible even said that it's not because you was good. That's why you having that land, because the people in that land worship other gods. They do abhorrent thing that he did do not approve of, and they still doing it. So that's why God is sending the Israelites there, kill everybody, slaughter everything, and start a fresh life in that land. Okay, it's not because they was perfect. So God is saying, when you get there, do not boil the mother in its milk. Now, let's do 22 to 29. Real short. We're not going to go too long on it. It's set apart tithes. All right? Set apart your tithes. That's something you have to set apart. You may not want to give donations, but you have to set apart the tithe to the church that is blessing your life. If the church or the ministry is blessing your life, send your tithes and your donation there. Pretty much, that's what the Lord is saying. Okay? Now, it's verse 22 to 23. Okay? Set apart a tithe of all the yield of your seed that is brought in yearly from the field, in the presence of the Lord your God, in the place that he will choose as a dwelling for his name. You shall eat the tithes of your grain, your wine, your oil, as well as firstling of your herds and flocks, so that you may learn to fear the Lord your God always. Okay? 10% of one's crop, along with firstborn animals. Okay? 10% of your crop, firstborn animals, are taken to the central sanctuary and eaten as a sacrificial meal. We did a video on central sanctuary yesterday. So I suggest you go. It's actually today, since it's still 11:48 p.m. It's not 12 o'clock yet. We did one. So I suggest you take the time to go back and watch that video on Central Sanctuary. Okay? Now, that was in Deuteronomy 17 and 18. Deuteronomy 12, 17 and 18. I don't know why my mouth just spit. Deuteronomy 12, 17 and 18. Let me read 17 and 18 for you. Nor may you eat within your town the tithes of your grain, your vines and your oil, the firstling of your herds and your flocks, any of your motive gift that you vow, your free will offering, and all your donation. 18. These you shall eat in the presence of the Lord your God, at the place that the Lord your God will choose, you together with your sons and daughters, your male and female slave, and the Levites residents in your town, rejoicing in the presence of the Lord your God in all your undertaking. Not some of your undertaking, and all of your undertaking. Okay? Now, okay. Okay. Now, let's continue on to verse 24 to 26. Is 24 to 26 states, if transportation is a problem, the tithes may be converted to cash to buy joyful banquet at the central sanctuary. Okay? You may say, well, I work, I don't have, and what I make is too big. I don't have enough space to carry it. All the grains, their farm, land, whatever, the grain that they make, the oil, whatever that they do. If the produce is too much, God said, that's okay. There's still a way. There's still a way. Let's read verse 24. But if when the Lord your God has blesses you, the distance is so great that you are unable to transport it, you are too far away, you are unable to bring that heavy load, okay? Because the place where the Lord your God would choose to set his name is too far away from you. 25. There you may turn it into money. You may sell it. Sell your grain offering, your oil, your wine, whatever you're gonna give to the Lord, your first animal, firstborn animal, whatever it is you're gonna devote to the Lord, you may sell it. You may turn it into money. With the money secure in your hand, go to the place that the Lord your God will choose. Okay? Go to where God send you. Okay? Verse 26, spend the money for whatever you wish, oxen, sheep, wine, strong drink, or whatever you desire, and you shall eat there in the presence of the Lord your God, you and your household rejoicing together. Okay? So it is clear there's no reason for you not to be rejoicing. There's no reason for you not to give your tithes. You may work far away, but you could and what you make at that time. There were farmers and nomads at that time too, because they travel from place to place. They scattered. They're nomads. So when they make all that grain and everything, they got to bring it all that back to that central location, that one spot. Before, they used to have little worship spot here and there worshiping God. God said, no, I want to have one central location. So now, even though you scattered, at the end of your season, you got to bring your first fruit into the sanctuary, right? So to bring in front of God. But God said, hey, if you are too far away and you are unable to come, it's okay. It's no problem. All you got to do is sell everything. Sell what you was gonna give, bring the money to the place, and enjoy yourself with those around you. Okay? Now, with your households, and those around you. Now let's do verse 27 and 29. As for the Levites, residents in your town, do not neglect them, because they have no allotment or inheritance with you. Okay? 28. Every third year you shall bring out the full tithes of your produce for that year and store it within your town. 29. The Levites because they have no allotment or inheritance with you, as well as the resident hellion, the orphans, and the widows in your town, may come and eat their fill, so that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work that you have undertaken. Right? So verse 27, verse 29 says, right, every 3 years, a second tenth is stored up to provide for the needy. A second tenth, not just the 1/10, but a second tenth is to be bring into the storehouse to be put away. Okay? To help those in need, the orphan, the needy, the widows. You understand? Apparently, this practice took place in the 3rd and 6th year of every 7-year cycle. So if you read Deuteronomy 15, verse 1, we're going to do that tomorrow. Okay? He said, every 7th year you shall grant a remission of debts. Right? Now, every 7th year. Now, okay? May the Lord keep you. May the Lord watch over you. May the Lord guide you. May the Lord protect you. As you go over chapter 14, for chapter 14, we talk about clean and unclean animals from 1 to 21. Right? We talk about verse 1. These morning ritual may have been part of the Canaanite worship. Verse 3, the abhorrent thing would damage one's relationship with God. And we told you the reference was Deuteronomy 7 verse 26, and also Deuteronomy 12 verse 31. And now in Deuteronomy 22 and 23, right? It's saying 10% of one's crop, along with firstborn animals, were to be taken to the central location for eating a sacrificial meal. We saw that again in Deuteronomy 12 verse 17 and 18. Okay, and also Deuteronomy 27 and 29, verse 27 and 29. We give you the reference was on Deuteronomy 15 verse 1. That's a reference for that. Right? It said every year a second tenth is stored up to provide for the needy. Apparently, this practice took place in the 3rd and 6th year of every 7th year. Okay? So hopefully you take the time to review this video, watch it, share it. If you have any question, my number, my email, contact information is at the bottom of the page. You can call me at any time. I will answer you, so it's not a problem. And if you email me, I will look through the emails and I'll answer you myself personally. Okay, so it's not a problem because I want you to know the word of God. That's the whole reason why we doing this. That's the reason why I'm up, at 12 a.m. in the morning. Is because I want to make sure that you receive the word of God and you learn the word of God and you're able to try to apply it into your life. Okay? Now, share this video. Follow us, donate. Okay? Donate your donation, donate your tithe, donate your prayer, donate. Amen? Because everything have an impact. Okay? Everything have an impact. Every donation you give help with those in need. So we continue to help the poor and the needy among us. Amen. That's the way the Bible wanted. That's the way we're gonna do it. Okay? So Peace be unto you. Shalom.